Wonder Woman is finally out on theaters, and hopefully you guys had the chance to see it. Now this is going to be my spoiler-filled video where I talk about specific parts of the movie with spoilers, obviously. So yeah, that is your spoiler warning. If you guys haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, do not watch this video. Go back after you've seen the movie, okay? So yeah, let's begin. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention too much in my non-spoiler video was Themyscira, and I love that they incorporated an insane amount of color. And this is coming from someone who likes the Snyder desaturated look on the movies. But yeah, this had very vibrant green scenery. The sea was very blue. It was beautiful to look at, and of course the Amazons, they were just badass in general with her. That's the Warriors, or Queen Hippolyta herself. Played by Connie Nelson, and she was awesome, of course. Or Antiope, and again, Antiope was such a badass, played by Robin Wright, and I don't think they could have casted someone better to play the character. Just badass all around. And I like that they spent as much time as they need on Themyscira. They didn't rush anything, They let Diana's character develop. Also, the use of the lasso on Steve Trevor was really great, and honestly, I didn't think of that. Like, it was such a smart thing to do, like to incorporate some comedy to the lasso of truth. Now, in my non-spoiler review, I also said that some of the dialogue felt clunky, and what I was talking about was the scene on the boat where they are talking about the reproduction thing. Now, this conversation actually started good, and it was actually quite funny, but I felt it should have ended on a certain point because it felt dragged on too long, and the joke became kind of dry. So yeah. Now, I also said that I love the naivety of Diana, and of course little moments that Patty Jenkins injected into this movie that added a lot to her character, such as the ice cream scene, or when she was climbing that wall and she smiles as she realizes that she's that powerful, or when she arrived to the war and she sees the injured soldiers, and she is exposed to the brutality of the war that takes place. Also, what this movie does well is slowly transitioning from her naivety into realization, such as when she was at that courtroom and they wouldn't allow Steve to get into Ludendorff's operation, or when they were camping and she asked Chief, "Who slaughtered your people?" and he pointed at Steve, his people. Little things that just added so much more to the movie. Speaking of Chief, by the way, as I said before, the knockoff Howling Commandos were great. They added a lot to Diana and Steve, and a good indicator that they were memorable is the fact that I remember all their names: Samir, Charlie, Chief. And all of them had moments, such as Samir wanting to be an actor, but at that time, of course, his skin color just didn't make it possible, or Charlie's PTSD, or the moment after the battle in the village where Chief was offered money by the locals, but he rejected that. And again, sorry for being a broken record here, but this movie really took its time with the characters. Now let's get to Ares, and I don't know how people didn't get spoiled for this, but before the movie came out, there were news reports of David Thewlis cast as Ares, and this came out fairly late after the trailers. Like, there were already 3 trailers released before this news came out, and like why now? I think it's the good thing is I don't think a lot of people actually read that article, but unfortunately I'm one of those people who actually read that news report, so yeah, I got spoiled. But yeah, anyway, Ares, I find his motivations passable. Like, they're not bad, but like, okay, I understand why you're doing the things you want to do, and I like the twist that I'm not a god of war, I'm the god of truth. And basically he had some truth to what he said about the humans. We are chaotic in a certain way, I guess. But it was just in the third act where he got a bit over the top, but nowhere near as over the top as the scene where Dr. Poison and Ludendorff was killing those generals, where Ludendorff throws a gas mask and Dr. Poison said something like, "But the gas mask will work, but they don't know that." Like, that was so corny and out of key, honestly. Like, that is something I would expect from Batman and Robin, honestly. Like, why? That was a bit weird. But either way, thank God it only happened once. And other than that scene, there was also a scene where Dr. Poison looks at the camera when she figured out the formula of the poison. Like, I think this could be very, very good. Again, the villains get a bit too cheesy. I don't know whose part on that was. Maybe it's Patty Jenkins or the screenwriter. Who knows? But I did say in my non-spoiler review, I did say near the ending they did something so brilliant and emotional. And that is where Steve was saying her last words to Diana and Diana was unable to hear him. That is a stroke of genius. I teared up, honestly, and you can say it was ruined by the fact that we learned what he actually said in the end when Diana was about to fight Ares. But in my head, how I look at it is Diana was remembering Steve, but the scene shown to us was to provide more emotion because we know what he actually said. Because think of it, like, it's tragic. It's almost Titanic level tragic, you know. Basically, Steve Trevor leaving, saying "I love you" to her, but Diana didn't hear it. Again, that's some next level tragic shit there. But bottom line, Wonder Woman is a fantastic entry to the DCEU. Hats off to Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, and others, of course. And I heard it opened to a massive $100 million domestically, so congrats to them. And this movie is going to be a double-edged sword for the DCEU since it's such a high bar, in my opinion. And now the expectations for Justice League is sky. Honestly, I'm gonna keep my expectations low for Justice League. But yeah, this is Ralph. I'll see you guys in the next one.